Hey guys, this is Mrs. Alter
And Mrs. Sharp.
and today we're going to be talking about converting fractions, decimals, and percents. So we're going to have you pause the video and copy this first section down. We're going to convert from fractions to decimals, so pause the video and copy steps 1 and 2 down.
Okay, so to convert a fraction to a decimal, the first step is to divide the numerator, which is the top number, by the denominator, which is the bottom number. Be sure that you place decimals and add 3 zeros to the right. Okay, and the second step is to round to the nearest hundredth.
Okay, so we're going to do the first example. So go ahead and copy the first example, 3/8. We're going to convert that fraction to a decimal. So
what is our first step?
okay, the top number, our numerator, is going to go inside because it's 3 divided by 8 if we read that properly.
Okay.
So 3 goes inside and 8 goes outside.
Okay.
All right, and then we're going to place our decimal so the 3 goes behind the whole number. And we're going to add 3 zeros. Sometimes you might not need all 3.
It's just a good rule of thumb to add 3.
Okay, and then you're going to bring your decimal up and start dividing. So 8 goes into 3
Zero
times. 8 goes into 30.
8 goes into 30 3
3 times.
Mhm.
Which gives us 24.
Mhm.
And when we subtract, we have 6 left over, and we bring down that next 0. And then 8 goes into 60. How many times?
7 times.
7 times. And 8 times 7 gives us 56.
Subtract, we'll get 40.
Oh, we get 4, and then
Oh, I'm so sorry.
we get 40 because we bring down that
Bring down
last
the
0. And 8 goes into 40.
5 times.
5 times, and 8 times 5 is 40.
You have a remainder of 0.
All right, so we're done. Okay, so now 3/8 is equivalent to 375 thousandths. Okay, but we're also going to round it to the nearest hundredth. So let's write 0 and 375 thousandths. But we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth. So we want to look, there's the hundredths place value. We want to look to the next place value, which is the thousandths. So Ms. Sharp, since this is 5 or more,
It makes that hundredths place bump up a notch, so from 7 to an 8.
okay, so we're going to underline that thousandths place, so that 7 becomes an 8. So it is 0 and 38 hundredths if we round it to the nearest hundredth.
Yeah.
All right, now go ahead and you're going to try one on your own. So you're going to write down 5/8 and then push pause, and you're going to follow the same steps as we did here.
And then come back and check your work.
So go ahead and push pause. All right, so how did you do? Did you get 625 thousandths?
If not, you need to re-follow your steps, look at our steps, and see where did you go wrong.
And if we are going to round that, Ms. Sharp, to the nearest hundredth,
Underline that 5, that's the thousandths place, and since it's 5 or higher, it's going to tell the 2 to bump up 1. So it's going to now be 0 and 63
63.
hundredths. Got to round up.
All right. Okay, moving on, we're going to now talk about converting decimals to fractions. So again, pause the video, copy these 3 steps down, and then hit play when you're ready.
Okay, so step 1, say decimal using place value. Step 2, write down what you say in fraction form. And step 3, simplify if needed.
All right.
Well, let's look at an example here.
Okay, so we have 0.65, but Ms. Sharp, what's the proper way of saying that?
Well, you have to use your place value, so it's 0 and 65 hundredths.
Because that 5 is in the hundredths place. Okay. So go ahead and write down 65 hundredths. This is one of the easier ways to convert. I love going from decimals to
Me
fractions.
too.
All right, so now we're actually going to write that as a fraction. So we're going to write,
And we said 65 hundredths, so that 65 is going to go on top of a 100.
That's your denominator. And now all we have to do, so we wrote down what we said in fraction form, and now we're just going to simplify. So I know they end in 5 and 0, so I'm going to divide both of those by 5. And Ms. Sharp, what is 65 divided by 5?
65 divided by 5 is 13.
Lucky number 13. And 100 divided by 5 is?
20.
All right, so our answer is 65 hundredths, but we reduce it to 13 twentieths.
And
All
it
right.
can't be simplified, so that's it.
Yep.
That's your answer.
All right,
Box
now.
your answer.
Oh yeah, box your answer.
Always box your answers, guys.
All right, so now you are going to try 0.80. So go ahead and write that down. Pause the video, solve it, and come back on to check.
Okay, so let's check your answers. Did you come up with 80 hundredths?
Or you may have come up with 8 tenths if
Ah,
you
very
disregarded that 0, either one.
And so then once you write it in word form, you need to write down what you said.
Okay, so fraction form, 80 hundredths. And then we simplified dividing by 10, or if you went straight to 8 tenths and then dividing by 2 gets you to 4 fifths. All right. Okay, and then the last conversion we're going to do is percent to decimal. So go ahead and push pause, copy down step 1 and 2.
Okay. Step 1 is to remove that percent sign, take it off. Step 2, move the decimal 2 places to the left, or in other words, you're dividing by 100.
Yep, that's all you're doing. When you move that decimal, you're just dividing. Okay? All right, so let's do the first example together. So 67%.
67%.
Okay.
Take
I'm
off
gonna,
that, yeah,
I'm going to rewrite that as 67.
with no percent sign.
Now it says move the decimal. I don't see a decimal here, but it's a whole number. So what do we know about decimals and whole numbers?
The decimal is always to the very right side.
If that was $67, that decimal would go right there. And then we're going to move that decimal 2 places to the left. So we're really just dividing by 100 because percent's out of what?
Out of 100.
Out of 100. Okay. So our decimal goes there. So 67% is equivalent to 67 hundredths. I'm going to box our answer again. Okay. All right. Now you're going to try 56%. So go ahead and pause the video, write 56% down, and then come back on and check. And you should have gotten 56 hundredths. Just place your decimal, move it 2 places to the left.
Those are the easiest to do, I believe.
All right, so now it's time for you to put this into practice. So, and if you run out of room, Ms. Sharp, what can we do?
There's a couple things. You're going to do some long division here. You're going to run out of room. You can either use a sticky note and stick it on the side, show all your work, stick it on there, or you can just use this and turn the page and continue going. As long as you show your work, we're good with it, okay? So practice problems. First, you're going to convert fractions to decimals. Number 1 is 1/8, and number 2 is 4/5. Next, you're going to convert decimals to fractions. So number 3 is 37 hundredths. Number 4, 85 hundredths. And then last, you're going to convert percents to decimals. You have number 5 is 34%, and number 6 is 89%.
Okay, make sure you copy those down, show all your work, and we will see you back in class.
Bye, guys.
Have a great day.